Welcome to the Halawa Fantasy Football League Week 6 recap. Back in Hawaii and had some pretty good games over the weekend. So we can get right into it. I'm pretty distracted right now. We just finished watching the Dodger game. It's the playoffs. And then I'm about to watch opening night for basketball. So let's just squeeze this update in really quick. Let's jump into it. Okay, so the first game is Brad versus Gary. Not a close game, unfortunately for Gary. Brad had a strong game, had one of the better scores of the week. Big gains from Jalen Hurts, even though that was an ugly game that they lost. Devontae Adams didn't do so good. D. Johnson, I don't even know who that is, Brad. But good pickup. Was he like a handcuff for... No, you played Najee Harris. So you played two Pittsburgh backs. Hey. It's like me playing two Detroit backs. I stopped doing that though, by the way. But they both did good. So good running game for Pittsburgh. 24 by Najee Harris. 14 by Johnson. I don't know. Is it David Johnson? Which Johnson is this? Wow, good call. Zach Ertz. This one was an interesting one because he played for Philly. And then after he finished playing, he got sent to Arizona. They traded him. So it would have been hilarious and not fair. Totally not fair if they let him play in an Arizona game after. But that might bode well for him. Kind of a mixed bag with this because it is a super strong offense, so you have the potential for like really, really big games for Ertz now that he's playing with Kyler Murray. The only issue is Kyler Murray likes to spread it around, and if you've had any of the Arizona skill position players, it's a mix. It's a wild card. Like any one of them can go off at one time. So you're gonna be maybe a little bit more boom or bust, but you definitely have a better offense there with him. So kind of fortunate you were able to get him to move to Arizona. Chenault had 8.4. Zerline had 15.9. Oh, that's a pretty big kicking game. And Dallas, you had good performances from Dallas. Atlanta and San Francisco was a big bye week for you. Okay. And then for Gary, really, really tough with Mike Williams because he's been like really, really boom or bust too. Like if you look at his stats, he will have some huge games, and then this is his second dud in the last 3 weeks, I think. Herbert did well. Jacobs did good. Waller was kind of pedestrian, but not a lot of tight ends have been doing really good, but he's one of the better ones. McLaurin didn't do so good. Oh, good pickup with Prater. He finally put up big points. And then Tampa Bay did okay. And then as far as your bench goes, Williams probably could have gave you more points, but not enough for you to win. So there's the Gary versus Brad. Okay, the next one is, this was the closest game of the week, and this went down to the wire yesterday, Monday Night Football. And it just, at the very end, it was basically Derrick Henry versus Julio Jones, Knox, and Emmanuel Sanders. So it was like 3 versus 1. It was like a David versus Goliath thing, and then Henry just, he had like a 76-yard touchdown run, and that bode like bad for Darren. He ended up with 36 points, and I guess apparently Julio Jones and Knox got knocked out of the game. So that was a tough break. So he ended up losing by just under 4 points, or a little, just about 4 points. So tough breaks for Darren. Joe Burrow did pretty good, but Prescott has been a better quarterback for you. Let's see. Fournette had a huge score. He would have been the one to have carried you, but you needed a little bit more from Keenan Allen. And, oh man, those guys, they just happened to get hurt. And then the Rams was huge for you, helping you have at least a chance in this game. Ooh, Chuba Hubbard has been a good pickup too, just because. And then he's going to be good for the next 3 weeks since they put McCaffrey on injured reserve. So he's going to be the main guy for the next few weeks. So enjoy him while that lasts. Okay, the next game, Richie versus Mike. Mike finally broke out with his Minnesota team. Big gains from Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen. So huge scoring by them. And then on top of that, Williams from KC. He's another one, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire went down, and this is the handcuff that reaps all the benefits from it. Josh Allen has been top 1, 2, 3 quarterback this year, so good for him. Higgins was kind of meh. Nick Folk only had 3 points, but enough for you to beat Richie. Richie's been like hurting. All right, so he benched Hawkinson in favor of Seals Jones, and that turned out to be a good move, but that was only a net 2-point difference. And then Amari Cooper has been kind of blah. Tony blah. It's just not your day. Sorry, Richie. In fact, your guys on the bench did a little bit better, but still not enough to catch Mike. Mike had a really good day. So hopefully for Mike, that'll turn it around for you, Mike. Congrats. Next game. Mike is on a roll. Mike continues to turn his season around. Morgan had a tough week this week. It boiled down to a Monday Night Football game too. It just at the beginning of Monday night, Mike needed about 8 points from Stephon Diggs. Got a touchdown early, put it to bed, so he was able to get the win with there. Even though Lamar Jackson didn't have such a good game, a lot of the running backs for the running game was like really doing well outside of Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. That's why. Antonio Brown did pretty good on the Thursday night game, and pretty good scores from Booker, Latavius Murray, Mark Andrews. Took a chance on Amar St. Brown. I understand that's a good move in terms of he automatically kind of becomes the number one because Quintus Cephas went down. But it's tough. I'll give you an update on the way the lines are. Ever since Ragnow went down, the center, the offensive line isn't the same. In the beginning of the year, I said they were a super solid offensive line, and that gave them a chance to be in all the games that they played, except for Green Bay. But since he's been down, the protections have not been as good, so it's going to be tough for getting offense out of any Detroit skill position players now. T.Y. Hilton would have been a better option, but not by much. He is a rookie, and I don't know, that's the same thing. If you can take a chance on rookies, they may blow up. They have the possibility of blowing up. For Morgan, your best player was Taylor, who's being great. He's one of the better backs this year. So, stock down on some of the guys like Saquon Barkley, even though he's injured. And then Ezekiel Elliott, and stock up on guys like Taylor. So hang on to him. He's gonna be your main guy going forward. All right, the next one is James versus Eric. Another no contest game. I mean, not no contest. No contest for James at least. Eric had strong games from Kyler Murray as usual. He might be the number one quarterback this year for fantasy. Aaron Jones did well, 20 points. Tyreek Hill did fairly well, 18 points. Woods did average, but good. Fant did really well for you. Good pickup on him as a tight end. Marvin Jones, smart play playing him, even though Jalen Waddle on the bench had 25. And you have Ruggs who had, oh man, your bench is really strong. So Eric's team looks strong going forward if these guys can keep it up. But for James, just didn't have the game for Godwin, Myles Gaskin, and Parham. You left some points on the board with Cole Beasley, but that still wouldn't have been enough to catch Eric. And then the last game, Aaron had a great game. It was just, unfortunately for him, I had a 180-point game. That's kind of like maxing out potential for my team. DK Metcalf will struggle because now their quarterback isn't as good, right? Um, he's out for the year. So they have their backup quarter, Seattle, we're talking about. Carson Wentz had 18 points. Pretty pedestrian for a quarterback. Mike Evans was not one of the better players on Thursday Night Football. Joe Mixon like really punished Detroit and was able to get him a lot of points. Pollard did pretty good, and Schultz pretty good. Cooks, that's a pretty good flex number. Like, totally dominated my flex point guy, Claypool, 2.7. And your defense was able to like keep up with Pittsburgh. So I mean, well, you actually, that's not 20, that's 29. So your defense did excellent actually. But just too many big games from Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, Henderson, and then contributions from Swift and Kelsey. So there's your matchups for week 6. All right. So let's switch it up now. All right. Let's look at the waiver wire. I go by season average. Let's start off with wide receivers, because that's probably where you're going to get most bang for the buck. Oh, Darren already dropped Emmanuel Sanders. Did he get hurt or something? Oh, I see. He has a bye week going forward. But he's been a consistent performer, so unless Darren, you hope to get him back, someone can snatch him up. That's a good deal there if you can wait the bye week out. Sterling Shepard, same thing. He had a couple down weeks and then he came back. So he's another one that can perform if you need a number one. I mean, you need a wide receiver. Davis, Kirk, Jameson Crowder, Tim Patrick, Deontay Harris, and AJ Green all had 10-point plus games. So there is a lot of wide receivers available as per usual. Running backs. This is going to be the tough one. Peyton Barber is your best bet. 9.87 season average. But he's still riding on that week 3. Never mind. Don't pick him up. It's not worth it. Kenyon Drake, he scored a touchdown. That's actually a better option than Peyton Barber. And then Tyson Williams, who was out. So quick thinking by Mike dropped him and was able to pick up Latavius Murray and then reap the benefits of a touchdown. Oh man, it's gonna be tough trying to figure out which Baltimore running back is gonna do well. James White and Jermichael Hasty are out. There's no running backs available, guys. Tough break. Maybe try to trade with someone if you really need one. Tight ends. Knox is averaging 11.8. Hey, that's a pretty good line. 6, 8, and then 12, 18, 19, and then down to 6 again. That's an option if you need one. You can pick up Derrick also. He becomes the de facto number 1 now, right? Because Ertz ain't going to be stealing anything from him. But he has COVID, or he's on COVID protocol, so you can pick him up, stash him on your IR for now. And then not much else. Let's see. Quarterbacks. We're going to start having bye weeks, so you may need to pick up one of these guys. Kirk Cousins is good. Derek Carr is good. Tyrod Taylor's on IR. And then you can take a chance on Ryan Winston Bridgewater. I wouldn't touch Goff right now. Like I said, offensive line got decimated, so they're in trouble. And then kickers. Who's available for kickers? Randy Bullock, Daniel Carson, Mason Crosby, Blankenship, Dustin Hopkins, Chris Boswell, all 10-point average scorers. And then defense. Hard to figure out who's consistent. Actually, let's see what they scored last week. Week 6. Indianapolis had 24. And they're one that has a minimum of 8, so Indy might be a good option. Vegas is another one who scored 22. That's the highest they've scored. But I don't know. They're new coaching staff, right? What's his name? Gruden is fired, so we don't know what's gonna happen with them going forward. Anyway, you guys know the drill. All right, so that's it. That's all I got. Actually, you know what? One more thing. We haven't been doing this, and I forgot to do it. I'm gonna do it just because it'll remind me. Nobody else has done it yet, besides Eric and myself. The league pick'em. Keep it up. League pick'em. So Eric is in the lead now with a 15-9 score. I forgot to put my score last week, but I'll put it this week. And I'm behind 13-5. Everybody else is 0-0. So Eric is the best at guessing the winners. I'm the second best. You guys are all the worst. Alright. Anyway, that's it. Let's go watch the Lakers now. Okay, bye.